I am at Devil's Lake again. This time I'm across the lake from where I went in the last time for underwater pictures. This is a much rockier shore. It's away from the beach though, and it's got a lot of sediment on the rocks, so it gets disturbed and cloudy easily. I've noticed that already. And hopefully we're going to see some different fish this time than we did the last time in the more weedy area. And just want to remind you that the bluffs were formed 1.5 billion years ago. Probably over many millions of years, but they're quite old. But the lake itself was formed by the glaciers. The glaciers came on both sides by the north shore and the south shore here, and they created terminal moraines. That means the glaciers ended here at both the north and south shore, and as they ended, they would continue moving forward, but the sun would melt them as they moved. So they never moved further, but they did block the Wisconsin River that used to flow through here. And that's what caused the lake to form. And the river went on a different course. Here's what the shoreline looks like here. I've got my mask and snorkel on, and we're about to go underwater now. Well, we sure didn't see a lot of life down there. Some plants in the beginning, and they were kind of pretty. A few little bass, but certainly not what I expected. We're on the far side of White Mound Lake. We're not on the side by the beach. We're on the side by the boat landing. Lots of algae, and I don't think we're going to be doing underwater stuff because the water is kind of green and not real clear like it was earlier in the spring. So we'll see what's around on the surface and around the banks here. This is a much more marshy area than up at the other end. So we'll take a look around. We'll take a little dip with the net, see what we can find. Oh, this looks like an interesting little place to go through here. And there's a tunnel under the road over there. This looks like an exploration. And I'm going to check out these fungi here, see if I can figure out what kind they are. Well, I put my iNaturalist up to these, and they're all over in here too. But they could not identify it specifically. I thought maybe it was that, what is it called, chicken something. But since I'm not going to be able to identify it, I'm not going to take it and I'm not going to eat it. And here we've got the jewelweed again. And look at this up ahead there, the tunnels. Let's try that. The water is flowing into the lake from here. I don't know, it looks pretty narrow and not very deep. We'll give it a try though. Well, I came this far to the beginning of these tunnels here, and it's too shallow for the kayak to go on. And it looks like there's maybe a dam, a beaver dam on the other side there. So it doesn't look like we'd be able to go very far. Around the edge here there's chicory and jewelweed and looks like sneezeweed. And it's a wood duck house here. They build them right by the water. So when the babies are big enough, they just jump out of the nest, the wood box there, and into the water and swim away. And that's it. The beginning of their adventure. Well, look at that big log there. That looks pretty interesting. We're going to have to go up closer, see if there's anything on there. It's been tough getting here through all this algae on the top of the water. It's hard to paddle in. I see plants growing out of this log. Lots of plants. I thought maybe I'd see a turtle or a snake basking in the sunlight here. But I don't. And that's the way of science. You try, you go, you look, and you keep trying, going, and looking. This log extending into the water here reminds me of the pictures of a baleen whale's front jaw, front mouth, with all the lines and the places where it can expand and hold all the krill that it catches. There are trails around the lake, and it's beautiful hills and trees, woodlands, grasses. It's a great place to be. And the water temperature is great for swimming, just not great for videotaping underwater right now. Lots of dragonflies around. If we were able to go through those tunnels, this is what we would have found. A lot of branches here. It is like a little dam. but then a nice stream. This would have been cool to go down. And here's some cup plants. Alright, we're going to see what else is around here in the park. There is a Willie Walsh Nature Trail here. And as I mentioned, there's trails around the lake too. So there's lots of hiking around here. And great sledding in the winter. And it looks like there's places for horseback riding too. Here's a stream that leads into the lake. And it's not real high right now, but it is pretty cold and clear. So we're going to walk it a little ways here. See if we can find a little deep spot. Found an interesting spot here. Lots of ripples, little waterfalls, worn away shoreline here. The water is cold. But it sure is pretty down here. There was one little deep spot, but I didn't see any fish in it. This is the shoreline along part of the creek here. Look at this tangle of vines and all the roots here. The water, a lot of water striders on the surface of the water here. But I don't see anything in the water. Interesting branches here. How they slant downward and then they bend up. Wow. That one looks kind of scraped. Maybe from high waters and the other branches rubbing against it. Cool, clear, running water, but no fish. How come? How come there are no fish in these waters? I don't understand it. This is beautiful here. There's a swarm of bugs here. They just keep going around and around in the sun like that. Oh, look at that. What is going on there?